Donkey Kong's not going to come out today, right?
I don't know, man. I've been gone. I didn't check on my way up.
Did you not feed him? I wasn't feeding him.
I don't know about
I
that.
thought you left a little.
I thought we hired a maid this week.
Well, no, you went on vacation or you traveled a little bit, but I thought you had like his feeder, his banana feeder.
Nah, nothing.
No,
nothing.
You didn't give him his banana puree, his banana pie, banana bread, banana chips.
Nothing.
No banana
He
pizza.
Nothing. He didn't
give him nothing.
He didn't enter the Bal-Boney contest, so you know he's not getting nothing from me for quite a while.
Oh my god. Well, he's gonna be pissed.
Mm-hmm.
He's this is not gonna be good.
It won't be, but we're ready for him. We'll see if he decides to show his face around here anytime soon.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the attic. You did mention the Bal-Boney contest. I have to give a shout out to Blue Jay Gaming,
shout out to Joey
Blue Jay, who won the contest. But thank you again to everybody that entered that contest. Again, that was a little drawing thing that we came up with for fun. You know, just draw Bal-Boney Kong, and you can win a trick or trade Pokemon box set of cards.
That was a really good drawing. So shout out to Joey, being creative, doing your thing, and yeah, like you said, every other entrant that submitted their drawing was good too. But you know, this one just won this time around. So don't let that deter you from entering any future contest.
Oh, and I think there's going to be some coming close to the holidays. I can see in the future something happening, perhaps.
Some like
a ChrisCrossmas event. Maybe.
Oh, so we're gonna make it Christmas theme. I thought you were gonna do maybe some like a jack-o'-lantern thing, but that's too soon.
Oh,
yeah,
too soon.
We'll have to do a Christmas one. You guys are gonna have to wait. Maybe like a snowman building contest.
Oh, that'd be cool. But then what if you live somewhere like here? Where
Life's not fair, bruh. You gotta let these people know.
You could use Play-Doh. You know.
Yeah, they gotta get creative.
Salt,
you know, some cotton balls, you know.
Be creative.
Yeah.
I made a snowman once in first grade out of a sock.
There you go.
You know.
See, like that's the thing. You tell people like to build a snowman. If they decide to tell you, "Oh, I have no snow," that just goes to tell you that these are the people that don't think outside the box.
They don't think outside
It's the
the
people
box.
that'll show up with like crumpled up paper, you know, and they'll make it happen. Those are the people you need to hire.
Give me an origami snowman.
Yeah, look. It's funny I mentioned that. Today I had a guy message me, and he's like, "I want to be a part of Matafied Gaming. How do I do that?" Now there's really no open positions, but I hit him with the reply. I was like, "Why do you want to be in it? Why do you want to be in it?" And he was like, "Oh, like you really inspire me to play Halo better." I was like, "Okay." I'm like, "But why do you want to be a part of this?" I'm like, and he didn't know why. He didn't know what to say. And I was like, all right, well, when you figure out why, you know, I'm like, you don't have to tell me today, tomorrow, whatever. Think about it and let me know. And then I'll see what I can do. You know, because a lot of people just want to be a part of something and they don't even know. But there's certain people out there that like will be with you for like specific like I don't know. I don't really know what I'm looking like. I'm not looking for a specific answer, but you know, you need loyalty, man. You know, and I really saw that this event that I went to in Seattle. It was really cool.
I'm gonna let you do your thing. I want to hear all about this because we haven't. You gave me little tastes of what you experienced. I've seen a couple photos, but for people who are not aware, where did you go last weekend? And I want to hear. This is literally for the first time I'm hearing it too. Like, what did you experience? And tell me everything about it.
I specifically didn't tell you anything because I wanted to not to save it for the podcast.
I mean, I know
but I wanted to tell you in person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So this weekend was the Halo World Championships 2023. It was for the second season of Halo Infinite's esports, and it was held in Seattle, Washington, which is the home state of Microsoft and 343 Industries. They're actually in a town called Redmond, which is right over a lake, about 30 minutes away.
How was Seattle?
Seattle was. I mean, I had a good experience. I've
always wanted to go.
I read some horror stories about other like attendees of this event, which is like scary. Which I mean, I can touch on eventually. But me personally, I didn't have any horrible experiences. But it could have been because I didn't really travel the city a lot.
Was it pretty over there?
You said there's a lot of rain. There was a lot of construction going on, so I wouldn't say it looked pretty.
Okay.
The nature of it, like when I actually drove over to Redmond, it was
okay.
Cool.
You say it looked like shit. It's fine. You're not gonna hurt anybody's feelings.
Downtown Seattle, look, it's going through a reconstruction process.
All right.
They even have like a construction pride posters all over the city. Like they're really they're reconstructing.
TLC, some self-care.
Yeah, it's a beautiful city.
Self-care Seattle.
But it's under construction right now.
There you go.
But yeah, so it was the Halo World Championship. That's where I was this weekend. And I got to experience for the first time since 2009. That was the last time that I had gone to an event like this for Halo. And it's the first one that I've gone to ever since 343 Industries took over Halo. So it was amazing, man. It was amazing. The event ran Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I was there all 3 days, and Sunday was just surreal because I got to experience the grand finals, front row and center. And I want to give a shout out to, Chino and Seth, who are actually supporters of Matafied, and now they're going to be supporters of this. I'm going to send them the video so they can follow over here too. But they had 4 seats up front. And they had 2 of the seats just with like all the stuff that they've won. Like Seth, his name is Seth, he won an Xbox Series X at the event. And I guess last year at Worlds, he won like the Xbox shoes. So he was wearing his shoes at the event. He had his shoes flex on the Xbox.
You know, do it that way, yeah.
And then he just had like all this stuff that he won. But anyway, so they had this sign, a sign that you could get at one of the booths to like hold up. They just had that on like 2 seats. So like,
were they assigned seats?
No, they weren't.
This was like first come first serve.
But like people respected, like if you went up to the bathroom and you left your bag on the seat, like people respected it. All right, no one's gonna sit down. So anyone that may have came up and saw that, they were like, someone's sitting there.
Right.
So the event was going on. It was maybe like the semifinals, and he's like, "Yo, Mata, like come up." So me and my homie Wildfire, we went up there, and we ended up experiencing the grand finals front row. If you go back and watch the footage of the final day and the final series, you'll see me on there going hype. I appeared on the camera like 4 or 5 times. I was starting up chants. It was amazing, and it was we witnessed history. It was the first time that any team has come back from the loser side of the bracket, because it's a double elimination. So they had to beat the champion not once, but twice. And they did it in a fashion that hadn't been seen before. They had to win 8 in a row against the defending champions.
Wow.
While the other team was just 2 games away. What kind of play style?
Yeah.
If I had to describe, the team that won is FaZe Clan. And this is, I believe, all the players on the team.
Slayer or...
So they play for rank or for the championship. They play Slayer. They play Strongholds. They play Capture the Flag.
Big team.
All just 4v4.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just like a combination of things and how they set up the bracket. But it didn't matter what it was. These guys won 8 in a row. So they lost the first 2 games. So the other team only had to win 2 more games and they would have been champions. But because they lost 4, they lost the first set of 7, and it reset the bracket. So now it's another best of 7. Wow. So then that team 4-0'd them, so they swept them again. And if you looked up, you could see the faces of all the players as they were playing. You can just see the team that was getting beat. Like, they just looked defeated. Like it was over. But yeah, man, that was a great experience. I got to meet a lot of people.
You met the chief?
I met the chief. Yes, yes, that's one of the pictures I sent you. So, shout out to. I'm gonna be shouting out a lot of people, man, because a lot of people made this happen. Without these people, this wouldn't have happened. But shout out to Murdy. I was in what they call the passion pit at these events, and what the passion pit is pretty much where all the players go like to play, and they're doing like side tournaments, things like that. They're not really there to watch the other pros play. They're there to win their own money. So they were doing like Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 4, and Halo 5 side tournaments. They had a free-for-all, and all of this happened in the passion pit. So that's where I spent all of my Friday. But then I believe that photo took place on a Saturday. So it was a Saturday right after the 2v2 tournaments where I was watching one of the old like Halo 3 legends who goes by the name of Neighbor. And I hadn't seen him in 14 years, since 2009.
Wow.
And he looked exactly the same. And I was like, what the hell? And like, no one knew he was there.
Do you look the same from 2009?
Hell no. I had a full head of hair. I had a squeaky voice, no facial hair.
Yeah.
Completely different. This guy looks completely the same. Again, I checked all his social pages. He's a ghost. No one even knew he was there. And from what I heard through the grapevine is that he won both the Halo 2 tournament and the Halo 3 tournament. And he was just in and out, bro. It's like a gambler that goes to the casino to play some baccarat or blackjack. 30 minutes in and out, this guy went home with like $10,000.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Just cake work. Wow. So we were in the passion pit, and this guy Murdy, he kept telling me like he's from Mexico, and he's like, Christian, the chief, Cortana, Arbiter, they're gonna be at the photo booth. Like, you should go take a picture. Like, look, the line is getting long. And I was like, man, right now I'm watching the FFA. Like, I can't, bro. Like, I'm supporting my homie who's making it to the grand finals. Mm. He came and asked me again, like, hey, the line's getting a little shorter. You sure you don't want to go? I'm like, nah, man. Like, it's the finals now. I gotta support the homie. The homie ended up getting 5th place in the FFA. Took home like $1,000, but finally, like, the line was like really dying down, and then it was getting late at night. Murdy comes back again. He's like, es ya o nunca, Cristian? He tells me in Spanish. It's now or never. And I was like, at that point, I'm like, dude, he's right, bro. When am I going to get this opportunity again?
Yeah. So
the line was super, super short. When I got to the line, I was like praying that it wasn't cut already. Mm-hmm. And, it took a little bit, but finally, it was my turn. And I go up, and John's like, what's your name, Oh. And I was like, Christian. Nice to meet you, Christian. Wow. And then the Arbiter is like, hello, Christian. And then I shake Cortana's hand, and like I give her like one of these like handshake with a double handshake. And she's like, oh, nice to meet you, Christian. And I was like, oh, yeah, cool. And then I'm like, before I took a picture, I was like, I'm like, I know you guys hear this a lot, but just thank you for, being the voices of something that, like, create, like, it's just been a huge part of me. And, just know that you guys have changed a lot of people in this room's lives for the better. And they're like, oh, like, thank you, And then we hugged it out. We took the picture, and
it was a good pic. You look super happy,
dude. I was happy as hell. Yeah. But it's funny, like the people that I was with, like I was telling them like, "Yo, come with me," and they didn't come. They came like later. Like I guess after the tournament had ended, they finally came. But what sucks for them is that they were there so late that they all had to go in as like a group photo, and I know for a fact like Wildfire wanted to have a photo for himself, like of just himself with the 3, like I did. Yeah. But some people didn't even make the cut, so I was like one of the last few that was allowed to take a picture by themselves, and I'm glad I went. I almost didn't go, but if it wasn't for Murdy, I wouldn't have gone. So it's Steve Downs, Keith David, I believe, and Jen Taylor. Mm-hmm. Those are their real names.
Yeah, the Arbiter. It was Keith.
Keith David, yeah.
Yeah, I believe he did the voice of one of my favorite Disney villains. Dr. Facilier from Princess and the
Yeah,
Frog.
he's done a lot of different stuff.
I'm pretty sure that was him. Wait 1 second. Let me check it out.
Yeah, and he hasn't been at these events, I don't know, if
Keith
ever
David,
in a long time.
Dude, this guy, he has an amazing voice.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
So it was honestly an honor to meet them, and oh gosh, like I wish I had something for them to sign, but hey, a photo lasts.
Were you wearing
forever.
your shirt?
I was wearing this shirt actually. Yeah,
I had him sign it.
I know.
It's all good.
Yeah.
You'll get another chance, maybe.
Dude,
someday.
this shirt, I wore it for this reason. I'm glad you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Bro,
talk about this. You walked in today. I'm like, that is a clean shirt.
Oh my god, bro! The things that I had to do to get this shirt, okay? It's crazy, bro. So I made a post, I think, either on Matafied or my personal Instagram, but I shouted out like 4 different people that made it happen. But pretty much it was like a week leading up to the tournament, and Wildfire hit me up. He's like, hey, are we going to have jerseys for the event?
Mm-hmm.
And I have wanted to purchase these jerseys for my team members for the longest time, but the financings haven't been there. And, and then my ex-team members, like, pulled out on me last minute at the previous 2 events ago, so that's why I didn't have it. But I was like, I had already, like, given up hope, like, the money wasn't coming in right. I barely was going to have enough for the Airbnb, for traveling and everything, that I'm like, I think I'm just going to skip out on the jerseys. And Wildfire was like, you know what, man? I'll front you the money, even though, like, I want to pay for them, It's like, I'll front you the money, but see if they can get them to us in time. And then I hit up the guy in Mexico, and I'm like, hey, man, I'm flying out Thursday. I know it's last minute, but, like, we'll pay whatever it is for us to get these jerseys on Wednesday minimum, because I need them on me to when I travel. And he's like, man, that's cutting it close. I'm like, just tell me how much it is. We'll send you the money right now. And he's like, all right, man, no promises, but let's see what we can do. And we send him the money, and he figures out, like, he finds different shippers that can probably get it out, and he's like, I'm gonna have my people work overtime to make the jerseys and all that. I'm like, bro, do what you need to do, like, just get it done, man. So it got to the point where, like, all right, the jerseys are done, they're packaged up. He shipped them out. He's like, but they got flagged by customs. I was like, you're kidding me, bro. Flagged by customs?
For what?
Well, they just do random checks.
Okay.
And I've gotten stuff shipped from them already, and I didn't get checked, but this one did.
Yeah.
So he had to provide, like...
I mean, granted, the photo that you had when you got that package, it looked like what cocaine looks like when they tape it up like a brick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was straight out of Narcos. It did not. It looked.
Well, yeah, like it got flagged, and like you gotta imagine, like there was 3 shirts in there that were like all folded up nicely.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it definitely did not look like, like shirts. Really, like come on, like these are jerseys, like.
Yeah.
So it got flagged by customs. He had to support his equivalent of a social security number in Mexico, and I had to provide mine. And I was like, am I really about to do this?
Sounds sketchy as hell.
I'm like, I really have to do this?
Yeah.
And I was like, for the modern nation, bro, like, I need the jerseys. So I did what had to be done. Gave it to him. I'm like, put it in. I'm deleting it. I'm trusting this guy with that number. But hey, I was like, hey, there's probably someone out there working with my social right now, so I don't know. But I don't know, man. I was just like, hey, I trust him. Someone probably already has my number anyways. It is what it is, right? So the jerseys clear through customs. But they got delayed. So because of that, there was a 1-day delay. And even though it was priority shipping, it was supposed to get there on Wednesday. I left on Thursday without the package. So I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna tell my team? I was like, fuck, man. So we get to Seattle, and I get to the airport. I meet Wildfire for the first time in person. And I was like, hey man, you want to hear the good news or the bad news? He's like, just give me the bad news. I'm like, I don't have the jerseys. I'm like, but they're supposed to get to my house in California like soon. And I think that I can probably like next day or same day ship them to us so we can get them on Friday or Saturday. Like, so there's still hope. So I call my brother. My brother like has these like next day air labels. So I hit up my brother. I'm like, hey, I need you to print me a label from my house over here to Seattle. And he's telling me like all the things that I gotta do. He's like, you gotta get to the UPS by 5:30. It's gotta be that day. They don't ship on Friday, so it needs to go today. So I call Rolo. He can't help me because of like family situations. I call another friend. She can't make it because she has like an HR meeting. So I throw a last Hail Mary to our homie Eddie, because I know that he works nearby. I was like, yo, man, are you still nearby? He's like, what is it? You know how he talks. What is it? I was like, look, man, I explained the whole situation. Apparently, he wasn't even nearby. Apparently, he was already near his home. Like, he was already at the gym working out. Mind you, he didn't tell me any of this. He just dropped whatever he was doing. I sent him the email with the printing label. He went to go pick up the package. He took it to UPS. Got there at 5:15. 15 minutes before the cutoff to where it wasn't going to be shipped anymore. And I called the UPS to confirm. I'm like, this is getting shipped today, right? They're like, yes. And I called Eddie. I'm like, man, dude, thank you. Like, he's like, don't worry about it. I'm like, dude, I'm worrying about it. Like, you just did something crazy. You know, long story short, the package, we ended up going to Seattle for the event. I got a text saying, your package has arrived. So we were already at the convention center for the first day. We drove back to the house and opened up the jerseys, and that's when you saw the photo that I posted, like the package arrived. So it took all those different people, it took all these different crazy circumstances to get the jersey and to be able to rock at the first day of the event. And, you know, it was a hit. Like, a lot of people really liked it. I met some fans there. They're like, yo, did you bring more with you? Like, you should have sold them here. I was like, bro, if you only knew what I had to do just to get these here, you know? So
how many shirts were there in total?
It was three of them. So I think by the time this gets posted, the third one is actually getting shipped out to our other member who doesn't know that I got this for him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
So by the time this comes out, he should have it in his home, and yeah, so. You know, if you want to get one, you won't have to go through all that. It was just because of this crazy, you know, predicament to get it here so fast that all this happened. But yeah, man, it was cool just being able to rock a jersey in that environment and people recognizing you. You know how that is. You know, like, oh my God, you're like when we were young, like, oh my God, like Chris and Christian, like from ChrisCross, like yeah. So that happened to Wildfire for the first time, and it was so cool because like someone came up to him and he was like, oh, "Are you Wildfire?" Like, and like I could just see that twinkle in his eye that like I know you and I experienced like when someone like your first fan came up to, and they recognized you, and you know I'm like, and I told him like at the end of the night, one of the last times we talked, I was like, that's why I do what I do, you know, just to know that like you're making an impact on somebody and that like people recognize you for what you do, even if it's just that one person. It's like that's why you hit go live. You hit go live because there's that one person. You know, you upload this podcast because there's that one person listening. You know, because if you work in that way, there's gonna be more than one person. Mm-hmm. So you know, that's the story of the jersey, man.
When you bought your jersey, did you use a free shipping code?
Like for this one? or what?
Yeah.
Ah, I see what you did there. It's your turn now.
Oy.
Speaking of free shipping codes.
Speaking of free shipping codes, our affiliate and sponsor of this episode and the ATTICC podcast, we have a lot of love for Entertainment Earth, which is an amazing website where you can get collectibles, toys, statues, pre-orders, exclusives of all your favorite excuses of all your favorite IPs and movies and TV shows and pop figures, whatever you like and collect, nostalgic, retro, new, old. They have right now the item that I'm so stoked for. I've mentioned before the new helmet that they had for the Black Series. It was Sabine Wren, which is like a Mandalorian helmet from the Ahsoka show and Rebels. But they also just released Black Series Captain Rex, which is a character. Okay, so if you watch the Clone Wars, which I'm not too sure if you're too privy of, so there's the Star Wars clones, and there's one clone that was the commander for Ahsoka Tano. His name, or Captain, I should say. He was Captain Rex. Every Jedi or a Jedi Master or Jedi Knight has like an assigned captain with them or a commander. And Captain Rex became a very beloved character, throughout the entire Star Wars saga. I would argue is like the most popular clone, and he has a really cool character arc.
It's a red suit.
No, I mean it's like that helmet up here. It's like the clone, the Phase 2. Phase 2 clone trooper helmet, but he has like blue stripes and he has like these kind of like wolf.
Oh yeah.
Dude, it's so sick.
Yeah. I've seen that helmet.
Yeah. So he's a really cool character. So now they have a Black Series of that, and I'm going to be using my code, which is linked on it's in the description and it's the pinned comments, and you can also get free shipping. I believe that's going to be ending October 31st, so make sure you use the free shipping code as well, so that you can get free shipping on any order that's over $80.
Yeah, so use the code to get a treat, and if you wait too long, you will get tricked. So use it now before Halloween is over, and get your Entertainment Earth products today.
I'm gonna take a sip of water. I was listening to you go off in the beautiful story of your adventure and all the cool things you were doing. Mm-hmm. It was making me thirsty.
Made you feel like you were on a hike, huh?
It did.
Dude, that the story is on a roller coaster, but yeah, I have one more story. I mean, a bunch of stuff happened.
I got a story too. I mean, is it about the Halo weekend that you had or no?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, no, just one more story that I wanted to talk about. That was I got to meet one of my favorite Halo players growing up, and someone that I really looked up to, and his name is Walshy. Now what he does for Halo is that he's a caster. He pretty much does the commentary for like the major tournaments like this. But I looked up to him because, growing up, he was a pioneer in this space. Like, even before we started ChrisCross Media, even before we became partnered YouTube channel, you couldn't really make a living with gaming.
No, it was impossible.
And you couldn't get a brand deal with gaming. You never would have imagined it would have became what it became. But, he was a pioneer in that. So, not only was he just one of the greatest gamers to ever live. He's from Detroit, Michigan, so he's from the Midwest, and he was able to catapult his career in Halo to become one of the first ever to be put like on a Red Bull can. He was one of the first persons to ever be sponsored by Red Bull. And then he was one of the first to ever be sponsored by Dr. Pepper and all this other stuff. Like back in the MLG days, right. He was on ESPN and he created his own business. I forget what it was called now, but
is he still doing all that?
Not anymore, because then eventually he kind of he went to school, he settled down, but he still was making appearances in Halo here and there, so he was still employed. But he's without him, a lot of this stuff doesn't happen. So he's like the one that like kind of pioneered that. Mm-hmm. And I have always wanted to meet him in person. Mm-hmm. And I saw him just standing there, and I'm like, I had to strike. So I went over there, and I'm like, Walshy. He's like, hi. Like, he's such a cool guy, right? He's like, oh, hi. I'm like, hi, my name is Christian. You know, I'm a part of Matafied, and, you know, I'm a huge fan. I told him I haven't seen you since 2009, because that's the last time I did see him, but he was competing. And I'm like, yeah, man, I just want to tell you a funny story. And now I'm going to tell you guys the funny story. So he's like, oh, what's up? So I'm like, yeah, Walshy. You know, I told him thank you for everything I just said. And I was like, yeah, there was this one time. I'm like, I don't know how, but I ended up in your Halo 3 lobby. And you guys were playing free-for-all. I'm like, I don't know how I ended up in there. I think I was like a friend of a friend. I'm like, but I'll never forget it. It was so funny. I'm like, I don't know if it was you or someone else in that lobby, but they were like, hey, does anyone know Fat Mexican? Because that was my gamer tag.
Yeah, it was.
I'm like, he's like, does anyone know this Fat Mexican? And then someone was like, no. Like, and the next thing you know, I see on my screen, like, you have been booted from the lobby. And I was like, damn. I'm like, but at least I could say I was in a lobby with Walshy, you know, and he was like, I wish I had recorded this, but I was just talking to him, and
of course,
and he was like, he was laughing, bro. I had him dying of laughter. And then, you know, at the end, I'm just like, yeah, man. So, you know, just thank you, keep doing what you're doing, and like, you mind if we get a quick photo? And he's like, yeah, sure. And we took a photo, and that was it. But that was like the one guy that I wanted to meet, and I met him, and I got to tell him my story.
That's awesome.
So, you know, that was probably one of the highlights of the whole event. It was really cool. I got to make Walshy laugh, man. But what's your story? Let's hear your
couple things. Well, so like I went to Utah a couple weeks ago,
mm-hmm.
right? And I mentioned that I met Zachary Levi, and wouldn't you know, he was they did a live recording of a podcast called Inside of You. Sounds dirty, but it's not. It's actually a podcast by Michael Rosenbaum. He's an actor. I'm not too familiar with his filmography. What people mostly know him from is he played Lex Luthor in a show called Smallville, which is like a Superman-themed show. But he now has a show where they talk about mental health and, you know, essentially trying to break down the stigma that surrounds it and trying to normalize it, making it something that people feel comfortable talking about, something that people are trying to strip away the, I think, negative connotations that is brought up when you mention, you know, anything that has to do with mental health or, you know, the things that people go through, big, small, everybody has something, even if it's just, you know, something that is insignificant.
It seems minuscule to you, but
it could be huge to somebody else. Yeah. But anyway, so they did the first ever live recording of the podcast, which shout out to our friend Ryan from the Warp Zone, because he works on that show.
Oh, shit.
And I saw him there. And then we caught up. It was really, really cool to see Ryan. The last time I saw him was at VidCon. I want to say it was like in 2019. And then prior to that, I mean, maybe it was like 2012. No, it was we went to that one VidCon. We were at that YouTube rooftop party. Yeah. Oh, that was we saw him briefly there.
Yeah, we saw him there. Yeah,
we both talked to him. But that was what, 2016. And then prior to that, you know,
that was 2016. Damn.
Or 17. But still. That was, dude, that was
still don't make it.
That was 6 years ago.
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about that. But he was there, and the show was fantastic. And Zachary Levi was like the big guest that they had there. So it was just funny. We got tickets to instantly go see him, and I'm on the episode. So they did a Q&A. I was like one of the last people to talk, and it was cool because he recognized me, and you know, the whole thing for me was to in a similar way tell him. And I won't go into specifics, but you know, Zachary Levi, believe it or not, like had 2 large major impacts in my life, and it was just cool to, you know, see him again. And we got him to sing a Christmas song, and then he jumped into Frank Sinatra, which I don't know if you knew, but Zachary Levi has a great singing voice.
Oh, no, I didn't.
So, like, he never sang. You know, he was always kind of a television, comedy, movie actor. And then when he was in the movie Tangled, he had to sing as Flynn Rider character. And then he discovered, like, oh, I have a voice. And he since has done Broadway. He since has done other different musical projects, or has sang in different projects. And then he did a live performance at FanX, and then he sang a little thing at the live show. So it was cool. It was really cool.
Oh, so Zachary Levi's like me. Like, I didn't know I didn't realize I knew how to sing until I heard myself in the shower.
There you go.
Dude, I'm an amazing singer.
I don't doubt it.
I actually did.
No, you do. We have a song on ChrisCross Media.
Yeah, we do.
That you sang.
Go check it out.
It's beautiful. It's your love song to Chugga Conroy.
Oh, low key, I think I could be a singer, dude. Low key, I've talked about it. I actually sang. We did karaoke one night. I sang. I rapped. I didn't sing. I rapped. But dude, I was scared. I was because everyone was singing country. They were singing like Taylor Swift or like rock, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna kill the crowd. I was getting nervous. There was this like big, like, he's from Canada. He was like a Native American, Native Canadian. You know, he's like, don't worry, Mata. You got this. We got your back. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna blow it, dude. I'm gonna blow it. But bro, I get up there. I rap the song, and everyone's like vibing to it. Like, yeah. Like, that's a great song. And I came out like, and they're like, see, it wasn't so bad. I'm like, oh, man, thank you.
What song did you sing?
I sang, because I was all up in my feels. I was missing my mom, because she celebrated her birthday while I was out there. That was actually her birthday that night. So I was thinking about my mom. So it was Homecoming from Kanye. So just, you know, about going back home to Chicago. So when I went up there, I like, oh, I love you, Mom. You know, I prayed. But yeah, so like,
Did you get teary-eyed?
No. I didn't. No. I called her during the event. I FaceTimed her. But she was working. She was working on her birthday.
Yeah.
Which sucked, but I had another story I was gonna tell you, but I don't know if I think I forgot. Damn. I have Alzheimer's, bro. I'm telling you. It wasn't about the event. Because I'm like, I have another story, but it's not coming to me right now.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, man, I don't know when I'm going to go back home. I don't know. I'm thinking, like December, for sure.
Holidays. Yeah.
But, like, I don't know, dude. I want to go, but then I don't want to go. Do you feel that way?
No.
You just came back.
I came back, dude, I went in August for 2 weeks, which was really nice. But then prior to that, it was last time I went home was last October. You went home 4 or 5 times this year. So yeah.
I don't know.
Don't talk to me about you just got back. No, I love going back home, being with family. You know, I think visiting places that you previously, you know, or you grew up in. You have these attached memories. It's great that, you know, obviously creating memories here. You know, you were here planting roots, but it's always nice to go back home. And you know, I think that it segues into our next sponsor.
We have 2?
No. I just wanted your face.
I'm like, wait, what? We have 2?
What would be a sponsorship that you could segue talking about going home? What product would that be?
I don't know. It had to be some like airline, you know?
Oh, okay.
We have to be sponsored by
right.
by like a cruise ship, or, you know, I flew Alaska Airlines.
You flew Alaska Airlines?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yo, actually, shout out to Alaska Airlines, bro. Like, the seats were comfy. I had some leg room. It was a cheap flight. I think they only fly, like, you know, on the West Coast, like north-south. I don't think they do, like, crazy stuff. But, you know, they actually, like, gave us snacks, a drink. I mean, they're just pretzels, but some of these places don't even give you anything anymore.
I know.
You know?
I know. It's so bad.
So, like...
I fly American Airlines, and it's like a real hit or miss.
Yeah.
It's like the bare minimum of any. Like, and I take like going back home. It's a 4+ hour flight.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Yeah. So like, the fact that it was $140, bro, round trip.
Oh, that's not bad.
140.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Like, that's how much I spend in a week in gas. You know what I'm saying?
If you're lucky.
So
Yeah.
for that to go round trip from Southern California to damn near Canada in Seattle, it was a 3-hour flight. And then to have decent seats that were like, I didn't complain. I had my leg room. They didn't like charge me on like a carry-on or, sometimes like, oh, you can bring a carry-on, but then you can't bring your personal item, or they want to nickel and dime you for everything. Like, no, I had my full-on carry-on. I took my backpack. No problems, Oh, now I know what I wanted to talk about. This is what I wanted to bring up. I was thinking about it on the way here. I wanted to talk and shout out to Seattle's public transit system. Because
right,
honestly, because look, bro, in California it sucks, bro. It's like non-existent.
Right.
The fact that I was able to get from a completely different, like, I'm like trying to visualize it for you. Redmond is up here, and Seattle is like right here. But in between the two, there's a big lake called Lake Washington. And there's this long bridge that connects to another city. But I was able to just go on Google Maps, and put my route. I wanted to go from here to the airport. And you know how it gives you the options of, do you want to drive?
Right.
You want to walk? Do you want to fly? Well, like, one of them is like the transit, a little bus. And I was just following that. And it gave me like step-by-step instructions on what I needed to do. I downloaded the app that you use to just purchase the tickets. And it rewarded me with 800 free points. So I wanted to shout out this app. In case you ever go to Seattle, you're going to have to download it. But this app is called Transit Go. Okay? And just for downloading the app, it gives you 800 points. And those points I use to redeem a bus ticket and a train ticket. And I still have points left over. And for apparently if you use the app and you do all this other stuff, you can earn points.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, cool. And I think even if I had to pay, it would have been like $6 total. Mm-hmm. But anyways, I hop on this bus, I follow the instructions. It was like 30 minutes, get off the bus right at the end of the bus stop. I get to the train station, hop on that train. It's like a subway style train, not like the Metro from Chicago. But then, I hop on that train, takes me directly to the airport. And on the airport, when I got off, there was this little it was like a shuttle, like an airport shuttle that pulled up, which I should have taken. I didn't know you could take it. But like at the Seattle airport, I guess you can just hop on one of these things and like the guy will just take you like to your terminal. And like there's a dedicated lane. Yeah, there's like a dedicated lane for this like golf cart shuttle guy who just like drives you anywhere.
For free?
Yeah. I saw the lady that was in front of me that got off the train. Like, she hopped on and I'm like, should I hop on? I didn't know. Like, so I'm there walking and I just hear the golf cart, vroom, and I see it go like, damn, I should have hopped on that. But like, I literally didn't pay anything to get back, and it took me like an hour and 20 minutes. So I saved that on Uber. It would have cost me $70.
Wow.
In 45 minutes.
Okay, so like what, 15? How long did you say it took you?
An hour 20.
Okay.
So an extra 35 minutes. Mm-hmm. I saved $70.
And you had a little adventure.
Yeah. I got to see some hobos on the train. They were drinking. One guy looked like he was zooming out. Like, this dude was probably on some crazy hypnotic stuff. There was this beautiful girl in front of me that I probably should have talked to, but I didn't, and I just got to see the city. I got to see the downtown.
It's like a hero's journey.
Yeah, it was cool. And I was like documenting, right? Taking photos here and there.
Of course.
But yeah, and that got me thinking, like in Chicago, like I think we have a good system too.
The Metro is very easy to use.
It is. Like, and in the suburbs we have like the pace buses. So
Right.
like, and then even the suburbs have the train stations that'll take you to downtown Chicago.
Right.
You know, but like, so like just growing up, I took all that for granted. Moving out here, bro, I can't get to LA from where I'm from, and I'm 30 minutes away from LA. So just how I was 30 minutes from Seattle, or you know, and I can.
We do have the train, the line, but like it's
no,
not.
bro.
It's
Dude,
not
I've
that,
looked.
Yeah, no, I know it's hard. Like the stations are oddly placed. It's not convenient. It's not convenient like you were saying. The Seattle situation sounds incredible,
and the Chicago situation.
Chicago situation is incredible too. Yeah, trust me. I've tried to do a little research to see whether or not I should use the LA train, whether or not that would benefit me in any situation, or the buses. And it's like it's always harder to like navigate through that than to just like get in your car and drive. And I think that's what most of the people they just get fed up and they say, "Screw it, I'm just going to get in the road." And that's why there's so many people on the expressway.
Yeah,
it's a nightmare.
That's what I was thinking. Like, I wonder, there has to be a list out there, like the top 10 public transportation in the cities of the U.S. You know, I would bet good money that Chicago and Seattle are in the top 10, because I'm assuming like New York. Do you think New York has to have, right?
New York has to.
Yeah.
Their place is a moving clock.
Yeah, like
has to
taxis,
be boom, boom,
buses,
boom.
subway, trains.
And then I would say maybe San Francisco.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But like, you know, like I should be able to, even from like where you are here, like you should be able to put on your map, hey, I want to get down to downtown LA. Click the little transit button.
Right.
And it should be like, it shouldn't have to have you drive anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But all these places, like, they're not connected. Like, my town should be connected to LA.
Right.
Especially that it's just one freeway that connects it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just wish there was better public transportation here, because I think we'd be able to explore the city more.
The thing is, like, with the train, regardless, once you get off, you're gonna end up having to use an Uber to get wherever you want. You know, there's like nothing, like you're saying, it's not accessible to a lot of things that you want to do.
Yeah, and I think for like a city the size of Los Angeles, and like how touristy it is, it's kind of criminal that it's non-existent, or it's very inaccessible or hard to use. And because I would love to explore all these little areas, but it's just such a nuisance to get to this city.
It just sucks.
It just sucks.
In LA,
you know,
it's the worst.
And it's just, something needs to change.
You know who didn't want to build his dream in LA?
Who?
Walt Disney. That's why he went to the orange groves of Anaheim to build Disneyland. The reason I mention that is that this week was the 100th anniversary of the studio. And I really want you to watch this special. It's up on Disney Plus. I'll play it for you after this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a must-watch to anybody who hasn't seen it at home. There's a short they did called Once Upon a Studio. And it shows the animation building up in Studio City or Burbank. And, you know, the end of the day, animators leave and all the characters come to life. And they're like, hey, today's the day, it's the 100th. Let's all take a group photo. And, you know, there's hijinks and things. But what's really cool is they showed, like, they touched on every project they worked on from, like, the infancy of the studio to now. And there's a mix of hand-drawn animation and 3D animation and really old school black and white animation. And Oswald's in it, which is really, really cool. And they all get together, and they brought back a lot of different, voice actors for it, and a lot of great Disney traditional animators for this. It's a really cute 10-minute short, and it was. I know we've talked about in the past my thoughts on the Disney studio as of late, just like animation wise, how I feel like they lost kind of the touch that made it so special, you know, even back 10 years ago. this felt like there's a lot of heart and soul in it, and I loved it. And I want more of this. I want to see more 2D animation out of this studio. You know, I hate that it's just been abandoned by everybody.
Yeah, it sucks. I did see that it was 100th. I saw a post that said like, "All right, this is really the official
This is it,
100th," because it's not like the 100th anniversary of like Disneyland, right?
No. It's the 100th anniversary of when the Waltz and his brother Roy started the studio, which was 1923. I think it was, 1923.
So is that like the oldest like thing, or like is Oswald older than that, or no?
No. Oswald was made in that time frame. Yeah. Because it started with the Alice shorts, which was at that time super groundbreaking. It was a live action girl with animated characters around her, and I think they even have a little nod to it in the animation. And then Oswald was made after that. What's really, really cool is that they for a lot of the animated bits, they did outtakes or deleted scenes of some of the characters. Like there's audio from like the original Peter Pan, and the one that's getting the most press right now is that they use unused audio, of course with the blessing of the family of Robin Williams doing the genie. And I think we actually talked about in this podcast, like every movie that he did, like you could have made 3 or 4 films out of this, the improv this man would do. And I know Aladdin was they had so much unused footage and audio, and there is some scene. There's like actually a reel. Maybe Disney posted it officially, but it's like different outtakes that he did, and they tried like loose animating, rough animation for it, and it's really, really cool.
All right. Yeah, I think I saw. I'm not like obviously I didn't see that, but I do remember seeing like some Robin Williams like outtakes of the genie.
Dude, the things he was saying. I mean, like. I love when he like dips into like things that are slightly like not appropriate for Disney content, and he always calls it out. He's probably one of my favorite. I think he's one of the most brilliant minds that ever walked this planet, and it's so sad that he's no longer with us. One of my favorite. There's a lot of great Robin Williams moments, but there's an outtake that he has where he was on Sesame Street. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't. But he's talking to Elmo, and they're holding like it's like a stick, and Robin's showing him like, oh, use your imagination. You can, use this stick to like, I don't remember these scenarios that he was saying, but I think he's like, you can pretend like you have a marching band or sword fight, or you're a dictator, or this and that. He's showing him this and things, and Elmo's like, oh, like, can I have it? And he's like, yeah, you can have it. He goes, thank you, Mr. Robbins. And then he goes, Mr. Robbins, and he takes the stick back. He's like, I'm getting my stick back, Elmo. And it was like this moment, the whole, the cast and crew's laughing, and then Elmo, like, the puppeteer of Elmo, he like made him somehow look embarrassed. Elmo, like, you can't blink, nothing. It's such like those puppeteers are insanely talented, and like you see this little red puppet of Elmo. He looks so like, oh my god, in a way, it almost looks like he's blushing. It was so cool. Also, there's this thing that's been going on for 20 years. I was just watching. Have you heard of the YouTube channel Tested?
No. With
Adam Savage from MythBusters. So he has this great YouTube channel. It's been going on for some time. And he builds things. He talks about MythBusters. He talks about just like creation, and he tours different places. He's been to like, Weta in New Zealand, and he just did an episode at the Jim Henson Studios. And there's an event that they have every year that started off as like an improv workshop and ended up becoming a show, and it's called Puppet Up. And it's the really only time that Jim Henson Studios opens their door to the public, and it's a ticketed event. I really want to go to it, but it's all. I think it's sometime in November. They do it once a year. What's cool about it is that it's like an improv class or an improv show, comedy show, but done with puppets, which has never been done before. And in the Tested video that I saw, it was really cool. At one of the very first Puppet Up shows, John Favreau was in attendance, and he was like, he was just amazed by how great it was. And one thing that he noted to I forget his name now, Brian Henson, who's the son of Jim Henson. He's like, the amazing thing that you've accomplished with this is that when you do improv, one of the hardest things is like to get past your own fear or anxiety, but you're putting all that in the puppet,
the strings, right?
So like you're basically like taking away that part and just allowing your brain to just be as creative and as fluid as possible, and that's really, really cool. So yeah, I really want to see one of these things, because me, I'm a huge Muppets fan.
Yeah,
I love the Muppets, and
huge Jim Henson fan too.
I love Jim Henson.
I mean, I owe that man a lot. Like I didn't know
Turtles, right?
Yeah, I didn't know he created the Turtles, like those original movie costumes. I know for a fact he didn't create the third Ninja Turtle movie. That was Jim Henson from Wish.
Yeah.
What happened there, man? I need to know.
I don't know what it was. I saw some video, whether it was, I think there was like a holiday special or something, but it was like the suits from one of the films, but like the latex was like already deteriorating and decomposing, like and like it didn't look right, and it wasn't fitting right on the actors. No, Jim Henson was incredible. I read his an autobiography on him, and my God, he did so many things that I think people don't even realize. People just see Jim Henson, they think Sesame Street, they think Muppets, they think, maybe they'll think of Labyrinth or Fraggle Rock or something. But man, this guy had a hand in so many different things early on, and he was making things that like had nothing to do with puppets too. Like he had this grand idea to make like the new age like club. Like he had an idea of like imagine you're in like, instead of it being four walls, like there's panels that are angled in such unique shapes that each of them is a TV screen and is projecting different like bizarre scenes. And I guess he was trying to tap into like the whole psychedelic era of the 70s, and like it was like so bizarre, and like he ended up not pursuing it fully, but like he had a lot of interesting ideas that like even his personal life, I think people don't realize he had like he was dating like supermodels. Like he was married for several years, and he they ended up having a divorce. They were still very close and all that, but after his divorce, he was dating like he had sports cars, like he loved art, he had good style. It's like you
my kind of guy.
You seem like a cool dude. And they throw like nice, fun, elaborate parties and stuff. Also, another awesome biography I read. Are you familiar with the comedian Martin Short at all? Maybe not.
Martin who?
Short.
Short?
Short.
No.
S, like short.
No.
Well, he's on a show. Have you heard of the show Only Murders in a Building? It's on Hulu. If you haven't seen it, check it out. The third season's out. It's Martin Short, Steve Martin, Selena Gomez. And they have like a podcast. They're trying to solve a murder in their building.
Oh, you've told me about
this. It's a great show. But Martin Short in real life, he's been lifelong friends with Steve Martin, another famous comedian, SNL,
right,
Bread, and all that. They throw like these super elaborate Christmas parties, and in his biography, they were talking about it, and it was so cool. And I'm like, that's something I want to do one day. Is like I want to be like known as the guy who has like
these awesome parties.
These awesome, like it's like an annual tradition of like Christmas or random, something. Like we have these new friends. They do like this Friendsgiving the week before Thanksgiving, and I'm going to my second one, and I'm so excited because I'm like, oh, that was really, really fun. Or like when we did Half Christmas that one year, years ago, that was so much fun, and I haven't been to one since, but that's a memory that I hold. I want to have like cool little events.
Like I was told of like an elaborate poker party, and like that this guy had like an annual poker party here in California, and like obviously like you had to be in the know and be on the list, but like he just had a big house, had a lot of money, and would throw this like big tournament, you know. And then I knew of another party out here that like this family, also wealthy, rich, had a mansion, and they like turned their house like into a haunted mansion. And every year I think to this day, I think they still have like a ultimate like Halloween party.
I love that. I love that like one family on the street that just goes all out. Yeah. That's so cool.
I would throw like the ultimate pinche carne asada party, bro. I'd hire like mariachis. I'd hire like bartenders to get you the drinks. I'd get the tacos going with like authentic tacos. And now that I'm such a fan of the LA dogs, I'd have like fucking 2 or 3 LA dog stands over there.
I think you and I have talked about this. Was it off camera? The hot dogs?
I think so, yeah.
We're both from Chicago. I think you and I can confidently say that LA dogs are better than Chicago hot dogs. Hands down.
Hey, yo, we can't say that on record.
Pizza though, no. Chicago has pizza on lock. They have the Italian beef. Chicago Italian beef. Mm-hmm. I think the Italian sausage, the deep dish pizza or the stuffed pizza. Chicago's got that. I think they tried to steal the hot dog. You know, I love a good Chicago hot dog. They're fantastic. But dude, walk me through an LA dog. The whole experience. You're at a game. You're at a show. You're at some sort of event. Doesn't matter. Ends at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 11 p.m. Doesn't matter. You walk outside. There's going to be dedicated individuals with their carts, little griddles, that now take Venmo and Zelle. Yeah. That was a game changer. Yeah, sometimes I don't have cash on me. This isn't going to work.
Yeah, when you ask somebody
Venmo.
Or they'll be like, or you ask somebody like, how much is it? And then they give you the price, and then you hit them with the, man, like I don't have cash.
Yep.
And then they're like, but we have like, you know, like anything, Cash App, Zelle, Venmo,
Apple Pay, everything.
You know, they got it all.
Like, it's like the mark of the beast.
All right, don't matter the price, just put it in my give it to me, man. Give me the LA Glizzy.
And here's the thing, even if you're not hungry. You're like, it's the smell. Mm-hmm. You smell the grilled caramelized onions, the peppers, the hot dogs wrapped in bacon, right? So the hot dog is already established. It's double down with it's pig on pig or beef. I guess all beef hot dogs.
It's a pig in a blanket.
It's a pig.
That's what it's called.
The pig is the blanket, and it's so good.
It's like in 1923.
What?
I'll bury your children with the skin of
the husk of your wife.
I was like, damn.
Oh yeah, that's the other. We finished our show. What was it? What were we watching before? The
Christmas in Harlem. No, just play. Harlem. Gangster,
Godfather of
Harlem. Yeah.
Oh my God. And now we're watching 1923, which is a prequel to Yellowstone. I've seen it already. It's great. You're enjoying it so far?
Yes.
All right.
Left me with the cliffhanger.
Every episode has a big cliffhanger. Harrison Ford's on it. He's amazing. He's wonderful in the show. Helen Mirren's in it. Dude, I gotta go back to the hot dogs.
I was gonna go back to the hot dogs.
I was thinking I can't get my mind off this hot dog.
No, because it's blasphemous, and the people from back home may not agree. But look, man.
Are you talking about the mayo?
Well, no. I'm saying in general.
Because I forgot to say there's mayo.
I haven't officially approved the message of what you initiated.
We talked about the off camera. You told me earlier.
Yeah, but that's off camera. You know what I say off camera doesn't always end up on camera. So
we don't edit these things.
No, we don't. But look, to all my Chicagoans out there,
just say it.
You guys, I love the Chicago hot dog.
Here we go. Just say it. Right? Just say it, Christian.
I love the Chicago hot dog with the tomatoes.
It's great.
With
the poppy seed bun.
I love
the pickled peppers on top.
The peppers, the long pickle, quarter pickle spear.
Tart mustard.
And the mustard.
Onions. The green relish. Radioactive relish.
Look, man, all that is amazing.
It's great. All beef hot dog.
Don't get me wrong. The Chicago dog is top tier.
It's great.
But listen to me, my paisanos. Listen to me when I tell you.
The paisanos already know.
They're the ones making it.
They're the ones here. The LA dog. Oh no! We're not feeding you. Turn him off.
He heard about the dog, and he's like, I want some of that. I want what you're having. But look, DK.
Wait, look, did you see that? He listened. He just sat down.
Calm down.
He calmed down.
I'm about to tell him the truth right now. He's ready to hear the truth. Look, man, when you come out here and they are that accessible that anywhere you go, you don't gotta look no further. When you come out of the club, when you come out of a baseball game, when you come out from a comedy show, a concert, from buying groceries, you may have just gone inside to buy your own ingredients to make a hot dog. But when you come out, bro, you got a jumbo all beef hot dog wrapped in bacon, perfectly crisp on the outside, juicy on the inside, put on a toasted bun with hot peppers and grilled onions on top, with your spread of mayonesa, catsup, and mostaza.
What's catsup?
Ketchup. With mayo, ketchup, and mustard, all on top, served with a roasted jalapeno.
And here's the thing, you wouldn't think that mayo makes that much of a difference, but it makes all the difference. That's what takes that hot dog to the next level, I think. And that's why Donkey Kong's being quiet, because I promised him earlier that we'd get him an LA dog later. Mm-hmm. He's being a good boy, right?
Mm-hmm. It's a Mexican thing, man. It's like a Latino thing. Putting mayonnaise. You see how we make our
Pilotes, yeah.
We put mayonnaise on everything, and this is a side story, but I had to mention it, bro. The first time I ever tried, I think I've told it before. I don't know, but just ketchup and mayo together, it's amazing. And the first time I ever had it was at a Burger King. One of the Mexican employees told my dad he saw us grab a bunch of ketchup, and he told us to mix it in with some mayo. And ever since then, that's when I've done it. So to me, it's like LA. It's obviously, I think the Hispanic population outnumbers any other population out here, but it's the Hispanic people out here that kind of have inspired the LA hot dog with the mayo on the bun and on the hot dogs. But I always say the Whopper wouldn't be the Whopper without the mayo.
For sure.
And the LA dog wouldn't be the LA dog without the mayo either.
Dude, you know who also really dips into the mayo world? Jimmy John's. Dude, those subs are lathered. And they're amazing. Mm-hmm. I never understood the whole argument of mixing ketchup and mayo. It's like, what do you think A is on your burger?
It's already
B,
there.
what's the secret sauce or anything that you have? It's the base is literally pickle juice, ketchup, mustard, mayo.
Spicy mayo is mayo and sriracha.
Exactly. Dude, spicy mayo is a different.
So yeah, with all that being said, and Donkey Kong agrees, the LA dog, as far as I'm concerned, reigns supreme.
I will say so too.
As the best city hot dog in the United States. You don't have to agree. But you have to get the hell up out of here. That's the end of the podcast, guys. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. DK is nice and fed. We're going to go get him some LA dogs. Thank you for being here, guys. You guys have been wonderful. We'll catch you next week inside of the attic.
Thank you for watching, guys. And see you then.
Good night.
See you on ChrisCross.
Peace out.